that obviously is leading to the market also having one more round of recovery. So just keep an eye on that. We have our next guest joining us. Rajat Rajgharia is joining us from Motilal Oswal. They're of course having their conference as well. We'll talk about that as well. But Rajat, good afternoon. First, I wanted your thoughts on the way the markets moved over the last couple of weeks, and what would be your thought process on this bout of volatility and this recovery that we have seen from the lows.
Hi. Well, I think on volatility, that is a common flavor across global markets, and US markets are leading the volatility in the global scheme of things. Today, if you look at Asia, major markets are down between 2.5% to 5%. So we have to live with this volatility, and whenever market creates a range like what we have seen in the last 3 months, where from a plus 10% for the year they were down minus 30 and now flat, you can understand that the 6 months of the year have looked like couple of years. So I'm not surprised by the volatility. I think markets are trading in a very difficult zone between the liquidity and the underlying fundamentals. Liquidity infused by multiple global bankers has caused a big recovery in the markets. But fundamentals, both at the global economy and India, are making people perplexed whether these markets needs to sustain at the levels that we are in. And hence, the two conflicting views are causing the volatility in the markets.
Okay, Rajat, good afternoon. So in that case, with so much of volatility and so much of conflict, I mean, for people, it's tough to look at their portfolios, right? Take for instance healthcare, because this entire rebound rally comprised on this major outperformance from the healthcare space. Are you still optimistic on this part?
Well, I think in the case of healthcare space, a lot more opportunity have been made in the last few years in the mid cap space, not necessarily into the large cap space. If you look at the larger cap names, they would still have been at the same prices where they would have been 2 years back, or over a 5-year period would still be down meaningfully. But many of the mid caps have been surging quite well, and that has been the common story of Indian healthcare over the last 5 years. I think one of the important things that is helping this sector to outperform, first, the benchmark weight is so low that people have actually not owned this sector at all. And second, when the rest of the corporate sector earnings decline is maybe 10, 20, 30%, this sector earnings growth of 10, 20%, so you have a sector which is a growth versus the rest of the corporate world which is a decline. So the relative outperformance of earnings is making the sector which is a very low weightage in the benchmarks becoming an alpha generator for most of the funds.
Okay. I guess that explains so many pharma companies coming to your conference as well. The other space where we're seeing a lot of interest, and you have a lot of companies participating in your conference, is the insurance space. 4 or 5 companies, Rajat. You reckon this is going to be a space with perhaps some kind of secular story from here on?
Well, Anuj, the secular story was always on in this sector, and given the listings that have happened in the last 2-3 years, investors at least have a vehicle to play this space. But what is important is the financials, which used to constitute 40% of the index weight, is now down by almost close to 1/4, and a large part of that decline in the index weight has come out of the lenders. So I think even investors are now realigning their portfolio within the financials weight from lenders to non-lenders, and this is where insurance, capital market, some of the other not capital intensive but secular growth stories are making their way in the portfolios.
Okay, that's insurance. Let me widen the ambit, since we are talking, financial sector companies. Let me get to the lenders now, Rajat. I don't know if the dust has settled or not, because we're still going through the various stages of moratorium and how much might go bad and not go bad. That guesswork is still on. So how are you approaching banks?
So, there are three parts to looking at the lenders. First, I think investors are just now focusing to the top five banks. All the listed banks below the top five are right now not even becoming a part of the discussion. That is one. Second, most of the investors are looking at the capital ratios, because it is almost difficult to guess who will get hit to what extent. But banks which are well capitalized at least will be able to protect their balance sheet relatively better. And the third is how much recovery we see over the next 3 to 6 months in the real economy. Right now, the real economy is probably moving from a base of zero activity 2 months back to maybe a 30-40% activity. How quickly we at least move to a 60-70% activity in the next 3 months will be critical to financials, because that is where the moratorium period also gets over. So I think moratorium period getting over, I don't see any extension to the moratorium happening beyond this deadline. So the moratorium period, along with the resumption of the economic activity, will decide. You rightly mentioned all our guesstimates right now on how much of moratorium slips. Until the time you do not get a fixed number, I see this sector being first either a range bound, or investors will fund money out of this sector to buy into the other spaces.
Okay, by the way, just to give you an example of this market volatility, so just to, when we started the show at 2:30, the Nifty was 98.72. It fell to 97.80, and from there on it's back to 98.60. It's this kind of volatility, and of course large part of this is because of this pullback in Reliance. That stock seeing a big move. Rajat, your view on Reliance, because it's become such a go-to stock for the market. Every time there's a problem, it's Reliance which pulls the market up. In fact, today also as we speak, it's made a fresh all-time high. How do investors approach this stock now?
Well, Anuj, imagine the index where the largest weighted stock is at its all-time high, and the index is 25% down from its yearly peak. What the index would have been had Reliance not been at these levels. That explains the extreme polarization that we are seeing even at a 20% lower index tick from the yearly highs. But coming specific to Reliance, imagine a stock, the promoter raised their stake through the rights. All the FDI guys across the world are looking to get a piece into the company. And most of the benchmark investors can't own enough, because a lot of them are capped at a single stock limit, while the index weight of the stock is crossing all those limits. I think it's kind of become just it's become on the buying list of every single category of investor, be it the promoter, be it the FDI guys, and be it the benchmark guys. But I think the most important aspect which is driving Reliance is the two businesses which has been their businesses built in the last 5-7 years. Enough has been spoken about how value creation has happened, but after a 10 to 12 years of sharp underperformance of telecom business, we are probably into the second year of performance of the telecom business. And if this is a trend which is a beginning in the making, then I think you still have a long way on what telecom can do. And Reliance, at least for the next few quarters, next couple of years, will be a function of how the telecom business creates value.
Yes, Rajat, absolutely, and that is the view that is so evident in the market as well, right? So my last question to you is this. I mean, I'm seeing the list of companies that are participating in this virtual conference, and they're across sectors. We've discussed pharma, we've discussed banks, insurance, you have some consumer companies coming, some auto companies coming. If I were to ask you from now till the next 1 year, which is the one pocket of the market, or that one company that excites you the most, where wealth can really be made, what would that be?
So let me expand that a little more. I think this phase of the global markets, global economy is at a very critical juncture where portfolio reshuffling will happen. Everyone has said what has worked necessarily in the last 5-7 years 10 years may not work. I think we have to marry the new trends. Capital is not going to be available to everyone. Those who don't need, people are giving them enough. I think while healthcare has run its part of the due course, I remain very positive on technology. I think lot of new opportunities are coming up for Indian IT services. I think telecom, just the second year of outperformance after a decade of underperformance, and you can pick between Bharti and Reliance, which one you want to buy. We spoke about the non-lenders in the financial space. I think 15% compounded growth for the next decade is something that is not very difficult for you to model. These are all companies with good balance sheets, very well-run managements, right? I think they are going, in our view, they should be the winners for investors to bet from here on.
All right, Rajat, pleasure having you on the show this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining in, and we hope to keep coming back to you for more snippets and nuggets on the market. Thanks very much. Well, on that note, we will take a very quick break. Come